weekly reading for August 11th. So let's get started and see what's up for y'all, Aries. Cary Grant. I got to remember to fire this one off to him, my coach. All right, kids, here we go. One shuffle and let's begin. All right. 10 of Swords. Interesting start. 5 of Cups. Strength. 2 of Wands. I'm trying not to dive in until I get them all laid. Last time I did that, I was off on a tangent. All right. So I like to take a look at the reading and see what major cards pop out first. And then I pay attention also to the first one. So the major cards that are in play today, and like I said, you know, I like to include the aces. You have the Ace of Wands. You have the Justice card, the Strength, the World, and the Hermit. So that's kind of a big energy, right? So we have the 10 of Swords. So the first thing that's coming up to me that struck me when I first pulled it was the 10 of Swords. And if you look closely at this, he's bound on every side. Sometimes if somebody's asking if someone's going to jail, I'll be like, oh yeah, they're going to jail. Look at that. They're just right behind the bars. And ultimately, this card sometimes plays with the idea of overcommitment rather than jail, but we're feeling a little restricted here. So the second card right next to it, if you look at these in a sentence, we have this 5 of Cups. This is that healthy dose of pragmatism. It's not negativity. You know, it's not, you know, the sky is falling, but if the sky is falling, this is the card that's going to speak to it and be like, I don't know, this is kind of like, let's be serious, let's be practical. So we've got this, you know, overcommitment, practicality. And then in that first sentence, there's the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands, doing the things we do. So usually wands are work, right? Things we do. So 2 of Wands, angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. So how many times have you found yourself vacillate between two different ideals, you know, coming or going? This is the feeling you would have if you were between you and your husband talking to a child, your other parent, or maybe your middle management talking to an employee, and upper management where you're feeling in between. So there's a lot of this in between and stuck energy. We also have another card for that, the 2 of Swords. So this one right here is two opposites, right? Two things that are speaking. And then the 2 of Swords has the scale in the middle, swords being the things we communicate, how we speak, what we decide, how decisive we are. And you've got this scale here in the middle, and his tail's wrapped around a sword and his hand is wrapped around a sword. And notice they're not being held by the hilt. This card talks to us about feeling as if I can't win. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And so which do I choose if the journey isn't going to be great either way? This is a tough spot to be in, rock in a hard place kind of feeling. And note, for those of you that can see these picture in picture, that card does sit in the center of the reading. So undecided, Aries right now is sitting on the fence. Okay. Now, I brought all those out first because I feel like those are the senses that you're coming from. I sense that you're coming from like undecided. Yet, here's what the cards have to say for you. The Justice card also has the scale, right? And right next to it is the Ace of Wands. And you're trying to decide whether you can take on this next step. And the Ace of Wands says, absolutely you can. And with some skill set. The Ace of Wands is someone in a laboratory. If you notice here, he's got all kinds of items that are built specifically for him. Like you can't go ace it in a laboratory if you don't know what you're doing. So this card tells you, you know what you're doing. You have all that's necessary in front of you to get these next things done. Now, I'm going to say that Aries is playing their moves, their next moves close to the chest. We've got the Hermit card, right? So the Hermit is isolation in general, right? We take it by its most basest form. Yet the Hermit card also talks about exactness and honor, the ability to learn and understand. It has the compass on the bottom and the guiding light here in the religious symbol. And then we have this, you know, these angles. So trying to do things right. So within the Hermit card, there's a little bit of energy of what did we learn? So this is using wisdom, which also goes into the Strength card. Ace of Wands, you know what you're doing. Strength card, which is balance. Not just balance and not just being able to get through shit. Okay, let's stop playing like strength is the flex. Okay, yes, it is. However, strength has a lot more to do with wisdom, right? In knowing what to do and when. Like there's this TikTok or reel that's going around with a female soccer referee standing for self in somebody's anger. This is the Strength card. This is holding our shit together. This is being in our center. If you try to think about or imagine what it would be like to tame a lion, because there's always a lion in here, even though this is my dragon deck, it's got a dragon too, of course. But what does it take to tame a lion? Most definitely not a stick, although it goes badly if you use one, or the little whip, right? It takes a lot of finesse and grace. So this card embodies that for you. You also have the World card. So when you feel as if a lot's at stake, every decision has the weight of the world on it. So the end result is the Queen of Coins. Coins is the beautiful things, the Venus of life, right? Not so much emotions as in cups, but the Queen of Cups talks to us about what we nurture and the physical things we do in beauty and embodiment. I can say, though, this Aries, you have the King of Cups, which means emotional intelligence. So you're approaching all this with emotional intelligence. And I think you're being clearer because you have some swords, right? You have putting things in black and white, maybe speaking a little bit more to what you want. So it's going to get easier for you, even though you're coming from, you feel as if you're coming from a defensive position. You've got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, this next step, right? Being released from that prison, being released from that energy of feeling stuck. So things are going to get easier. Six of Wands means victory, getting the reward from the things we do. Now, this isn't like the Ace of Wands, or sorry, Ace of Pentacles, where we have like a big landfall or things come in and change forever. But this is a nice change. This is a winning an award or winning a prize or being able to attain the thing that we're looking for. So even though I feel like you're really putting yourself up against the ropes here, I do sense that things are going to improve quite drastically for you within this next week. So hold the line, Aries. Let's pull some cards and look at your Aries moon. If I run out of time, I'm talking too much today. Excuse me. All right, here we go, Aries. So book your one-on-one, karmaondeck.com. Join in some of the classes. I guess I need to go in and update the tarot class because it looks like somebody said they couldn't book it. But tarot, meditation, spiritual mentorship, if you want to get your game on, let me know and I'll hook you up. Or if you just want to get your one-on-one reading, find me, karmaondeck.com. Also, come find me on YouTube. That's where I really like to have your company and support. Anyways, all right, here we go. Five of Wands. You're thinking a lot about being stuck and overwhelmed, right? This is anxiety. So you might have a little low-key anxiety right now. King of Pentacles, which is leadership. The very next steps for you are going to take some leadership, and I feel like you're asking yourself, in which ways should I take leadership? You do have the Death card, so your fear here is about drastic change. But again, your congruency card is the Six of Swords. Things are about to get easier. The center of your reading is the High Priestess. So what does she talk about? She talks about intuition, trusting yourself. Secrets coming to light a little bit too, but not quite so much as the moon. But this is arcane. These are the things that have to do with spirit. So you have these feelings that are kind of all over the place here. You've got the Five of Wands. You're not sure whether you want to rush in and fight, right? You just want things to be a little nostalgic, back to where they used to be. So I feel like you're telling yourself it's time to make choices. You got the Two of Wands here. But what I can tell you is if you're really thinking about change, you have the Justice card. So usually the Justice card means things are going to go in your favor. That is your end result card. You also have the Death card in play. Transformation is next for you. Knight of Wands, a little bit of recognition. You have a lot of kings in your moon portion here, and that talks to us about leadership versus nurturing, right? So you're looking toward doing a new beginning, taking on some new steps here. Doing a new beginning. Look at my grammar. Any rate, be cautious of overwhelm, emotional overwhelm. What happens when we block our throat chakra? Our throat chakra gets bottled up and then we explode like a Mentos in a Coke bottle. There's a little bit of that energy there. I'm going to mention this one more card, and then I'm going to pull something from Divination of the Ancients and see what your oracle card is for this week. But you have the Ace of Pentacles in play. Pivot points, guys. Just remember, our aces are just as good as a major card because the majors are major and the aces tend to be a capstone. All right, here we go, Aries. Let's take a look at your oracle card for this week. Precision. I love that I pointed out the angles and the compass that's in there on the Hierophant. Can't remember which card now because I'm looking at the time over here, but here you go. Precision, exactness, doing things with a little bit more planning, right? So as we're laying things out, taking steps, right? Being more and more clear than ever. Sometimes simple is better. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I will catch you on the flip side. I'm going to come back and let me double check that I'm on the right one. Yes, we're going to do Taurus next. And I thank you for hanging out. Let me know where you